Maybe you're thinking about buying a Swatch Omega MoonSwatch, a used one from eBay. You've probably been on eBay and you've probably seen a few listed. Now, I did this, and you probably or may have seen my previous video where I did a review on this Omega MoonSwatch. This is the Mission on Earth. I bought this from eBay. It's a used one. It came with box and papers and a receipt from the original Swatch shop in Carnaby Street, London. These retail at £240 and I bought this for £155, and it's only been worn I think 2 or 3 times. It's absolutely mint. But how do you know the watch you're buying is a genuine watch and not a fake? Because there's a lot of fakes coming out of China. Some of them are good, some of them aren't so good. But I'm going to show you very quickly how to know whether your Omega Swatch that you're looking at, or that you now own and you're wondering is it real or not, is a real one or a fake one. So without any further ado, I'll show you the main one and then I'll show you other ones. Okay, so the main one to look for on your Omega Swatch is a little bit tricky to see, but on the middle of the crystal, so that's the crystal of the watch, in the middle there is a tiny etched S, and if you use your phone and zoom in and put the watch at a bit of an angle to the light, you should be able to see it, or use a magnifying glass. So I'm going to zoom into this and show you, and also I've got a kind of screenshot I'm going to add into the video which will show you clearly the S and the type of font it must be, because some of the higher quality fakes may replicate an etched S, but it won't be exactly right. So it's important, if there is an S, to make sure it is in the correct font. So if I zoom in here now, let's see if we can pick up the S. So just bear with me as I fiddle around. Yeah, so we can just see it. I'll keep zooming in. So hopefully you can see above the center of the second hand, slightly to the right, you should be able to make out an S that's etched into the glass there. Okay, I'll add the screenshot now to show you a little bit more clearly. Let's zoom back. And it's tiny, so you can see it's not easy to see with the naked eye. You may be able to make it out with a naked eye, but when you zoom in you can see that. Now of course when you're buying a watch from eBay, you're not going to be able to see that. I would probably suggest, if you are looking at a watch and you're interested in it, perhaps ask the seller to take a photo of the etched S. Most people have got a smartphone. Most people could zoom that in at an angle, take a photo of it, and perhaps add that in a message to yourself, so then you could see and have a bit more confidence that it is a genuine Swatch Omega MoonSwatch. Okay, so moving on to the other telltale signs that it is a genuine Omega. As you probably found out looking at these watches, that they are made of bioceramic. So the fake MoonSwatches aren't made of bioceramic, they're made of plastic. Now there is a subtle difference between the plastic case and a bioceramic case. The bioceramic case on these Omega Swatches, the finish is much sharper. So the edges have got a kind of sharpness to them, a very well defined sharpness. Again, it's a bit of a subtle thing, but the fakes won't be quite as good quality and have that sharpness. Also, the feel of the bioceramic is different to plastic. So the feel of the bioceramic, because there is a high quality of ceramic in there, I think it's something like 70%, it feels different. So when you use your finger and stroke the bioceramic, it feels kind of silky, and it's got a kind of hardness to it that plastic doesn't have. If you tap the back of your fingernail onto the bioceramic itself, It kind of, it has a distinct, it's hard to do this with one hand, sorry, because I'm holding the camera with one hand. If you've ever clicked your back of your fingernail against a coffee mug, you know, a ceramic coffee mug, you'll understand that there's a subtle difference and it feels different. It definitely has a more ceramic feel to it. Okay, so this is going to be a subtle way of telling, but the plastic one will feel kind of warmer. It will have a different feel to it. The quality of this is far superior than any fake plastic case. The other quick way of knowing is a lot of the fakes, in fact I think pretty much all of them, for some reason the crown is always smaller. So if you look at the crown, look at the size of the crown and compare it, because the crown on the original, this one, is quite large, and when it's in its in position, look at how far it sticks out from the case itself. You can see when it's in its in position, it's kind of 50-50. So you want it to look like that. You can see it tapers outward each side, and the top of the crown is domed. And then the Omega Swatch is raised, the logo is distinctly raised. But on the fakes they will have something similar, but on the originals it's very crisp. So you're looking for kind of sharp, crisp edges to everything. So a larger crown, tapered, larger at the top, tapering in, 50-50 on the case approximately. As you can see, it's sticking out. It should all sit in there very nicely. The pushers, again, nice, crisp and kind of sharp looking. Now when we come to the back, a lot of the fakes are going to have all the imprinted writing, so it's going to be difficult to tell with that. On the original you want to make sure it looks nice and crisp, but I find that they replicate that pretty well. What they don't replicate is the battery tray, that moon at the, usually that would just be a sticker. Well, on the real one it's a solid color, and that's where your battery is behind there. So on the fake ones, you'll find the whole back comes off. On the original ones, it's a sealed case. You can't access the movement at all because it's a maintenance-free movement. The only thing you can do is to lift that plate off and you've got the battery behind there. The rest of it is sealed. So on the fakes ones, the whole back pops off. So that's another big telltale sign. If the whole back pops off, you know you've got a fake. So another thing to look for, a lot of the cheaper fakes, the chronograph itself will be flat. So the little chronograph dials, they're kind of inset. So if you have a look, they're kind of like a crater, if you know what I mean. They're like a plate. On the a lot of the fake ones, they're just flat, and also on a lot of the fake ones, they are fake hands just stuck on. So of course when you push the buttons, they don't work. Some of the more expensive ones, you push the buttons, they do work, and also they have replicated the inner dials being in, you know, like a kind of plate shape. So it's one to check for, but it's not 100%. Also, another one at the bottom, you have Swiss made, and it needs to be either side of that 6 baton marker. And obviously, when you press the buttons, the chronograph should work. So that started there. That one does, the top right one. and then it goes back round again. I'm not even quite sure how this chronograph works, but obviously they need to be functioning. Okay, so with the strap, now the fakes are pretty hard to tell. The original has got a lot more stiffness to it, it's thicker, it's a better quality. So if it's extremely flimsy, you can see this has got quite a stiffness to it. I'm using quite a bit of pressure to bend that. The stitching should look like this, and there shouldn't be any bleeding on where it says Speedmaster and Mission to Earth, etc. A lot of the times on the fake ones, the printing can kind of bleed slightly from the letters, so it needs to look all crisp without any bleeding at all. And also, bear with me, the swatch there again, look for good, crisp, neat stitching. So there's the stitching for comparison. The swatch bang in the middle. And that is the thickness of the watch, needs to correspond. Some of the fake ones are deeper or maybe even slimmer. So you're looking for it to look like this. And this ring here, a lot of the fake ones are much thinner on this plastic ring. So you're looking for a nice, thick, strong looking Velcro strap ring here. So that's another one. Because it's made of bioceramic as well, so it will feel like the case. It won't feel like cheap plastic. It will feel like quality bioceramic. So there are some other ways. Obviously there's serial numbers and things like that, but I'm just looking really at the quick visual things that you can look at. So once you've basically looked at the watch, there's the packaging. So this watch came with box and papers, and unfortunately they can and they do fake the box and the papers. So you need to look at the box, and I will show you the box now. Look closely at the box. The card has a slight gloss to it, and it has some texture to it. It's not completely flat. Not sure if the camera can pick it up, but it's got a slight kind of texture to it. The little booklet shouldn't just look printed. It should have a smooth, slightly glossy appearance to it. The fake ones look more kind of matte and printed. The box should definitely have some quality to it, and texture on the black as well. You can see there's a texture. The fake boxes are more flat. Okay, so now you've pretty much seen exactly what you need to look for. As I said, probably the most important one is that etched S and that it's in the correct font. If you've got that right, you're probably going to be absolutely fine. If you can get a receipt as well, like mine came with obviously box papers and that receipt, that gives you a little bit more of a genuine feel. But it wouldn't be impossible for them to have obviously the box papers and receipt from another watch. They keep that watch and they sell you the fake. I mean, that's a possibility you've got to look out for. The other thing you need to do with eBay is check the buyer's feedback, check what they're selling. For instance, the chap I bought this off, he looked like an honest seller because everything he was selling was to do with vintage cars. His profile photo was of a Triumph Stag, which is an old British sports car. And I sent him some messages and he was very good communication coming back. You could get vibes this was a genuine guy. You just had this for about 6 months. It's still in warranty, and he just wasn't really his cup of tea, and he was going to buy another watch with the money once he sold this one. And looking back, he hasn't got any other watches for sale. So, you know, the chances are it's much more genuine. But when I was looking at some other Omega swatches, there was another chap on there, another seller, and he was selling many Omega swatches, Omega MoonSwatches. And I looked back at his feedback, and although quite a lot of the feedback was good, there was a few negatives, and they were saying it's a fake. And he was giving them their money back. So, but the ones he sold that had got good feedback, you know, he was getting good money for those. So who knows if they were fakes as well? You know, it's a bit of a racket going on, and they are good fakes. That's the problem. You know, a lot of people would get it, wouldn't even know, put it on their risk. You know, wouldn't maybe till later on down the line they got to change the battery or something like that, they work out it's a fake. So do your homework, and it's, you know, you should be in a good position. The main thing is that if you can get them to send you a photo of the watch, maybe something in that photo which proves it's not been taken off the internet or something like that, you know, get creative, perhaps get them to, I don't know, have something as well in the photo which only you and he knows about, so you can determine that it's original. You know, it could be just a piece of paper or anything, a pen, anything that he kind of slips into that photo as well, so you know that that is a genuine photo of the crystal with the S on it. So yeah, you've got to get your thinking cap on there. But if he can send you that and the font checks out, you're probably okay. Now who knows, maybe they've kind of sorted that problem out as well. But at the moment, if they do etch an S on there, as far as I'm aware, they are not getting it correct. It's not exact. So that is the biggest, you know, tell. Anyway, good luck with finding a good quality, genuine Omega MoonWatch. They are out there. You know, there's some of these are coming up now, unwanted presents, or someone's only maybe worn it a couple of times, and you're going to get yourself a really nice watch at a good discount, because the availability of these is much better now. They are out and about. I think you can pretty much walk into any Swatch Omega dealer and buy pretty much all the watches now. There's not too much of a problem. So they are coming up. It's been a couple of years now. So they make quite a good used buy if you can get like this one, which is like brand new. As you can see, it's absolutely like brand new. So I'm very happy with this purchase for 155. I don't think that's a bad price. 240 is quite a lot, isn't it, for a kind of a, okay, maybe ceramic, bio-ceramic, but it's, you know, it's not the highest quality watch ever, but they're not bad. They're not bad. And who knows, maybe they could go up in the future when they stop making certain models, because I don't expect they'll make every model forever. They're going to update them, they're going to change them, a bit like all the Swatches and the Swatch Ironies, this type of thing. They only do them for so long, so there could be a collectability to them. So that's one of the reasons I got this one. It's a good price. I fancied one for a while, and it was absolutely immaculate with all the box and papers, and I've got a very good saving on a new price. So it was worth the risk. I did my homework, and this is a genuine one. I'm 100% sure of that. And good luck, and yeah, take it easy. Take care.